Welcome back to Peril Pending, where today we're looking at some real dodgy dealings. Yep, once again, my affliction with being permanently online appears to have paid off, as I came across an article on Byline Times, although it is from the 16th of Feb 2026, so it's a little old, but still, I feel like it's more relevant than ever, considering what we know between Farage, Boris and Harborn. We're about to hear about Bannon, Epstein, Farage and Boris Johnson, and the plot to topple Theresa May. Like I say, articles from Byline Times, link is in the description. We're going to go over a few of the parts that I thought were most interesting. Newly released messages between the far-right former Trump advisor Steve Bannon and the late convicted pedophile Jeffery Epstein reveal how Bannon worked with Boris Johnson and Nigel Farage to, quote, overthrow Theresa May at the height of the 2018 Brexit crisis in the UK. In one message on the 16th of July 2018, Bannon, who had established a London base in Mayfair, where he met with prominent conservatives and far-right European political figures, he tells Epstein that he is in London with Boris, while in another message, 3 days earlier, he tells him that we are overthrowing May right now. The reason I think this is more relevant than ever is because, well, as we keep hearing from Nigel Farage, you don't hear much from Boris anymore, wonder why. The elites are out to get him. He's the party of the working class. Well, it looks like you're quite friendly with Boris, and you've got quite a few friends together. Something tells me if there is some mysterious cabal puppeting things behind the scenes, Nigel Farage is a player in that. That's just what I'm seeing from the news. Johnson strongly denied any such collaboration with Bannon or Farage at the time, with his spokesperson telling The Observer in June of 2019 that any suggestion that Boris is colluding with or taking advice from Mr. Bannon or Nigel Farage is totally preposterous, to the point of conspiracy. And when questioned later on LBC about the reports of his communication with Bannon, Johnson called the claims the biggest load of codswallop I have ever heard. A spokesperson for Johnson did not respond to a request from Byline Times for comment following the release of the Epstein messages. I wonder why. They wouldn't even deny it. In unused footage from the 2019 documentary The Brink, Bannon is recorded telling the documentary maker that he had collaborated with Johnson all weekend on his resignation speech. Today, we are going to see if Boris Johnson tries to overthrow the British government, he's filmed saying. He's going to give a speech in the Commons. I've been talking to him all weekend about this speech. We went back and forth over the text. Yes, nothing screams patriot like working with foreign officials to overthrow your own government. Nice one, Boris. Nice one, Nigel. This association continued even as he befriended Epstein and used his connections and financial acumen to set up his European far-right movement with Nigel Farage. I believe the "this" in here is reference to Bannon, not Boris. Bannon texted Epstein, describing the UK as a hot mess, and explained, I've gotten pulled into the Brexit thing this morning with Nigel, Boris and Rees-Mogg. Epstein replied, asking if May would survive. Bannon responded, I don't see how. Boris, Gove, Rees-Mogg, David Davis, somebody has to step up. The next day, the Daily Mirror published a photo of Johnson and Farage sharing what was described as a cosy chat at a Belgravia restaurant alongside Johnson's father, Stanley, fueling speculation of a hard Brexit pact. But once again, avoid the evidence of your eyes and ears, okay? Because Nigel Farage, well, he says they truly are the party of the working class. So we have to believe him. If only we could get a comment from Farage, but I don't know. Has anyone heard from him recently? Yep, I think we're into, what's this now? Week 2 of complete silence from Nigel? The spokesperson for Nigel Farage was contacted for comment. Is anyone surprised he's not speaking? On November 16th, Bannon told Epstein that he was still in London because the guys are trying to move on May today/tomorrow, and I'm having a meeting right now. Epstein informed the prominent Norwegian diplomat Terje Ruud Larsen, I'm so sorry, that Bannon would not be able to meet up in Abu Dhabi because he was staying on in London at the request of Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson, who, by the way, still hasn't made a comment as to whether or not he has any relations with Bannon. Not since the Epstein messages got released. In the days following the 2016 EU referendum, Epstein had emailed another associate, Palantir founder Peter Thiel, describing Brexit as just the beginning of, quote, a return to tribalism, counter to globalism, amazing new alliances. Remember this. This is from the 16th of Feb. And then a little while later, we found out that Farage and Boris were getting paid by a crypto billionaire named Christopher Harborn. Farage might as well be a Tory. He's filled his party with Tories. And he seems to have ties, at least from the news that I'm seeing here, he has ties to Steve Bannon, to Christopher Harborn, of course, and to, in a disjointed way, of course, not directly that we know of so far, Jeffery Epstein. Farage and Reform are not your friends. Farage and Reform are a blanket party, something that he can throw in front of the cameras in an attempt to distract from his own issues. And if that doesn't work, he just goes quiet. Because Farage, he's a coward. He doesn't stand for you. He doesn't stand for the country. He's only ever stood for himself.